Hey everybody, this is Travis with 307 Quail. I decided to come on here tonight. I'm doing my nightly quail chores, and I thought I'd tell you a couple of things that came up in the last 24 hours that I learned. Seems like there's learning every day. First off, it's nice just to come in here and add some shavings to the cage and not have to be reaching in and changing out paper towels. So that's a plus. I like using these wood shavings. See if one of these guys gets out of here while I'm doing this. They're definitely big enough now and a little bit flighty. They can get around. So the other thing I told you last night that I did was that I switched from using paper towels to prevent splay leg in the less than 7-day-old chicks. These are 9 days old now. So I switched to just these pine shavings. Everyone says that after they're about a week old, go ahead and do that. So I did, and that was the only change I made. And like I said, I typically do this at night when I come out and take care of these guys. And I've had my light, my heat lamp dialed in. I've been using a 250 watt heating bulb, and my temperature's been 96 to 98 on the hot side. I've showed a couple times. I use this thermometer from when I smoke meat. It's got 2 probes, and you can replace those relatively inexpensively. So I drop one on the hot side and one on the cool side, and that way I kind of know what the temperatures are, and I'm sure that they can, it gets too hot over here, I know that they have a cool spot they can move to. Once I've done this a time or two, I probably won't have to do that, but it just makes me feel a little more comfortable as a newbie having a thermometer in there. The other thing I learned was that when I switched from, especially, I don't know if it's just because I'm using a plastic tote or not, but when I switched from paper towels to pine shavings, I went in the house and it was like 8 o'clock at night, so it wasn't getting warm, it was cooling off, and my temperature in the brooder went from 96 to 98 to, I looked at the temperature and it was 117. So apparently the pine shavings hold heat a little bit better. So the other thing that I did was I switched from a 250 watt bulb yesterday to a 125 watt bulb today. So I'll use my thermometer and I'll kind of get a feel for where I need to set my light height-wise, and I'll get that dialed in, because they really only need to be about 90 degrees at this point. So that's that. And then the other thing is, I've been using 1 quart, I think it's 1 quart, might be a 1 liter water bottle. And I've been using this basin, because that's all they had when I went and bought it. And I've been putting marbles in there like I've showed in order to keep the chicks from falling in, getting chilled, drowning. I've seen several people talk about how they've had chicks drown. But they climb all over that, and it gets nasty and gross, and it stinks really bad. So I elected to get a smaller basin. You can see the size difference. It's only about, I don't know, 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch all the way around. There's no way they can get in there, and I think it's going to help tremendously with keeping the smell down and keeping them from climbing around in it. So I'm excited about that. Plus, I don't have to deal with the stupid marbles. They get gross, they have to be washed off, and you have to, every time you fill it, you have to dump them out. So then you might as well rinse them off, put them back in. So I switched to the smaller basin, so we'll see if that helps. So those are the lessons learned today. It seems like there's been lessons learned every day, and I'm hoping that this water bottle will not tip over in these pine shavings. I might have to get a little piece of board or a tile, like a bathroom tile kind of a thing. I've got some scrap around here. I might use those to set that water on so it doesn't tip. But I'll keep you posted on how all this works out. Thanks for watching again. Have a great night. Take care.